Hello, my name is Jeff. I've got Painkiller and Hanbei with me today, here to talk about who are the next ups we should be keeping an eye on, which teams are going to be hot going into the next stage, and will Freya have a big impact on the meta? Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to come talk with me. Why don't you give us some brief introductions?
Hey, I'm a Painkiller. I'm a tank player on Rad Esports. I'm from New Jersey, and you might know me from a couple other teams like Team Z and O3 Splash.
Hey, I'm Hanbei. I'm on Team Extinction and FACEIT League Masters, and I used to play with PK a good amount before on O3 and Team Z as well.
How do y'all know each other? Just off script, just real quick. Like, was that just from playing on those teams together?
Um, yeah, I mean, we kind of knew each other a little bit before the teams. We played in a like Blitz, or he was watching me play in like a Blitz tournament, and he scouted me onto Unk Inc. for FACEIT Season 1.
Gotcha.
And then like from there, then Season 2 FACEIT was like Team Z, and then same with Season 3, that was O3 Splash. So
Right.
he kind of like introduced me into this scene, and then I've been on a team and just friends with him for the entire duration.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry, I just a little background I thought was kind of cool there. How about speaking of, do y'all have any unique routines, setups, superstitions, anything you do on game day that I don't know might stand out or be something that you have your lucky pair of socks, something you have to do on game day to feel in the mode? Hanbei, let's start with you on this one.
Well, for me, on game day, I try not to play multiple hours before my like actual match, so I'll have like a warm up, but I'll keep it to like 1 or 2 games of ranked before I like. That's it. I can't have more than that, or I feel like I'll get burnt out.
Got to stay fresh for the match.
Yeah.
Actually, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Ben Keller, how about yourself?
I mean, normally on match days, I try to like get up early in the day, but not to play Overwatch in the early, just try to like get awake and take some time to like, do morning routines and try not to get up
Right.
too late. Like, because like sometimes matches can be at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and some people be waking up at like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., and it doesn't get you off to a good start when you're starting your day so late. So like normally I'll just try to like eat a nice breakfast and drink some Celsius.
There's just good balance. That's healthy. That's healthy. I respect it. I respect it. Talk about some players from around the scene here a little bit. If there's one hot next up player you think everybody should be keeping an eye on, who is the first name that comes to mind? Let's go back to you, Painkiller.
I mean, me and Hanbei both kind of been looking at this player for a little bit. Like even when we were playing the Masters together, like in seasons 2 and 3, like Lich, I think he's on Rad Academy now. But like when he was on Tanuki, he was actually a pretty good flex TPS player. And then he did really well on Rad Acad, even beating Supernova in the upper bracket. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the players you should be looking out for next playoffs.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more on that one. Hanbei, what do you think? You gonna agree with that one? You got another player that stands out?
Yeah, I agree with Lich too, but I got Ryan.
Yeah.
He's just nice in OWCS, and I feel like when he's on his game, he can like he can like bring his team up as much as Zero does. So like
Ooh.
when he's at his peak.
Yeah. Ryan's gonna be so fun to watch in an OWCS this next season. I can't wait. Can't wait. Let me put my script back up. Let's see. This one is more about talent level to attention. Like, who do y'all think is? I worded this as the most gifted player in Overwatch right now that no one is talking about, but who doesn't get near of attention for the amount of talent that they have right now? Hanbei, I'll go back to you.
As far as talent, I mean, I'd have to go with UV and for flex supports. Like he's actually my perfect player. Like everything he does when I watch, I just feel like he makes the correct play multiple times in a row. Just my go-to POV watcher.
Big fan. All right, all right. Great answer. Painkiller. Painkiller, what are your thoughts? What's first thing that comes to mind on that one?
Um, I'm gonna have to go with one of my teammates actually from last stage. I'm gonna have to go with Chronic. Because Chronic has been like a monster in like tier 2 for a really long time now, and like everybody knows like you don't pick Widow versus Chronic, and he's been like a really high respected like hit scan player for a long time now, and I think like this next stage and this WBCS like he's really gonna leave his mark in the tier 1 scene, and he's just like a really talented player that I don't think has gotten like a fair shot at like punching up to tier 1 because like on his like he played on Citrus for a long time and they always got one or two good upsets, but they never like broke like the LAN scene. Like I really think Chronic should be going to LAN. Like I think he would
Ooh.
be crazy.
I mean, you're not the first one to mention Chronic, and I gotta admit, I shamefully have to admit, he's probably flown under my radar personally, you know, and keep an eye on the scene as far as being that level. But I keep hearing that over and over again. Definitely won't be flying under my radar anymore. That's for damn sure. I've heard Chronic referred to as a player's player. Is kind of how I've heard Chronic talked about.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick a next up master team, you know, a team that we haven't seen in OWCS yet that you think could make big splashes, and somebody we should be all keeping an eye on going in through the rest of 2025. What team comes to mind? Painkiller, let's go to you with this one.
I'm thinking about like Rad Academy and Extinction. Like both those teams were already so close last playoffs, so they're coming in at like, you know, number 1, number 2 seed. Maybe you look at like the teams that got relegated, like Amplify and Shikigami. Like you maybe look at them and think they could be top 2 as well, but Radicat and Extinction, they already were like, now they're 1 and 2 in Masters, so you got to watch out for them, especially because of all the OWCS talent now that might come down to Masters League. So there could be a lot stronger teams on those 2 top tier rosters already.
Ooh, something to keep an eye out for. Yeah, your squad mentioned in that, Hanbei. What are your thoughts? Next up team or team, you know, you think would be coming up hot in 2025? I mean, you can include yourself in that for that matter. I mean, there's no shame in that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that one?
For FACEIT, yeah, I think our team should be next up in OWCS, or I'm hoping. I think we fumbled last stage in Masters League, and it was unfortunate that we went to losers against Supernova. But I think this season we can really turn it around, and maybe hopefully add some additions.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that. I can tell you're kind of chomping at the bit. No leaks. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. And it is. I'm rooting for y'all every step of the way. But that growth is so important. So it's. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all shine and really, really show the world what you could do. That's for sure. Now that we've been through our first PNR matches, those promotion relegation matches, let's talk about the change on the ecosystem. What kind of change do you think this has for players and for teams and for you personally? Like, does it affect your motivation personally, or is it just still another day at the office? Hanbei, what are your thoughts on the PNR matches being introduced?
You're talking about the FACEIT matches, right?
The promotion relegation matches between FACEIT into OWCS. Now that we have direct matches that feed from T2 into T1.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I like being able to get the chance to like take your spot or like stay in if you don't deserve it. But yeah.
Does it motivate you to play harder? Or does it, I mean, where you just want to win, you've always wanted to win, and it's not really that big a change? Or does it add an extra carrot at the end of the stick kind of thing?
If you're not in OWCS, it definitely motivates you to, like, push through that extra length.
Sure.
And, I mean, it's anyone's game. You can just, what am I looking for? Like, just study up on the teams, you know?
Yeah. And
figure out what they do before you play them. So...
That's awesome. Gives a lot more depth, I think, than that, from what that sounds like. What do you think, Painkiller? Did the PNR matches change your perspective on the scene?
I'm like both sides on it. Like I do like the idea of, you know, the bottom 2 teams, like if they're not like able to compete with the Masters teams, they should drop down. Like sure. I do like that, and it also gives like talent in tier 2 to be able to rise up, like unknown names you maybe haven't heard of, like some players on Dildux, like they haven't really been like tier 1 in a while, like or ever, you know. So it gives like players on like rosters like that a fair chance. The one thing I kind of dislike about that is it makes OWCS a lot more restrictive. Like if you don't make it, like look at Supernova, like they had the upset versus or they lost in that upset with Amplify,
right.
And then they had to spend the next couple months in Masters because they lost one of the qualifier games. So like, especially because like if you wanted to make a new team, you can't really make a new team and go straight to WCS. You have to play through Masters
Yeah.
first. So I feel like that does hurt some players that maybe sit out on a stage or um didn't make a team or want to change their teams. Like it's a lot harder to just make a new team and go straight back to WCS. You have to play through Masters now.
I've always thought of that being a good thing, like the teams staying together and not as much roster mania happens now as did back in like the contenders days and stuff. I never really thought about it as far as it does make it difficult to make change though. That makes a lot of sense. And then kind of one bad day, and then perhaps somebody who deserves to be in OWCS isn't kind of thing as well. As far as is that kind of what you're intending?
Yeah, because like this stage in WCS, I feel like it's going to be a lot more competitive. Like compared to last stage,
Sure.
like Rad, we were like a fifth, sixth team. Like we were never like winning a lot of times in the matches versus like the high tier one teams, like top three. But like we wouldn't really ever even scrim like Amplify or Shikigami, because they were just like in a completely separate tier.
Yeah.
But with Supernova and Supernova definitely has the chance to like and has like the underdog going for them because they were out for so long, and if it's like a good day for them, they can be really good.
I mean, it is the team that upset Energy Shock in 2024. All right. I mean, so it is kind of interesting. Hey, I will say, the Amplify story, they jumped from expert to OWCS. So that's a cool story in itself, but your point is valid that they never quite, still probably had some growing to do before they were on the same level. Yeah. All right. Moving forward. What's your general opinion on the current meta? Are we enjoying the meta? It seems very map dependent right now. A lot of teams kind of able to play their own individual styles. What are your thoughts? Are you having fun with it? Hanbei, let's go back to you for this one.
Yeah, I haven't completely scrimmed and like figured out what's good and what's meta, but I like being able to play whatever. And Freya looks interesting in the meta, and I think she can be really strong.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of feeds in with my next question. And yeah, and just the time of this recording, Freya's released 2 days ago, so I guess the meta is kind of in flux right now. Would y'all agree with that? Is everybody kind of figuring it out?
Um, yeah, so on Rad we've scrimmed the last couple days. We've had two scrims against Liquid,
Okay.
and we've been trying to play test a lot of Freya to see what works and what doesn't. I think on her own she's fairly strong, but we're trying to figure out if she's more consistent than Sojourn right now. Like, so Freya's like looking to compete for that hit scan spot right now.
Right.
But Sojourn might be like still a little more consistent, but Freya could have some peaks because one of the things about Freya is that she's really versatile. Like you can run her with really fast comps with like Juno Lucio. You can run her with slow comps like double flex support like Bapsen or Anakiri. Um, and even in some dive maps, she's been seeing a little bit of playtime over Ashe. But one of the problems with Freya is that her ult is like really consistently like sort of compared to like a pulse bomb.
Yes.
And when you think about like other hit scans you would play normally, like they have much stronger space making ultimates. Like every hit scan has, you think of Bob, you think of High Noon, even Widow Walls, like those also create space for 15 seconds.
Yeah. Not to
So
mention Overclock, probably the most space creation of all of those.
yeah, especially with Overclock. That's why Sojourn's like still might be getting played, might be better. But we definitely gonna have to see in scrims because she is pretty fun to play in scrims.
Outside of Freya, just the general sort of map dependency of it, where now maybe this is changing. Maybe that's kind of what you're all hinting at, is this might be changing. But it does seem, at least in this past month or so, we've seen a lot of different variety and compositions. Do y'all prefer that kind of style, or do you prefer a more predictable meta? Hanbei, let's go back to you for this one.
Yeah, I definitely prefer being able to play whatever. I think it allows teams to make strats or like just play to their strengths. Some teams that don't have the ability to do. So
You enjoy just kind of being able to play different things,
yeah,
keep it fresh.
especially because I feel like I can play whatever. So I just
Yeah.
like to like switch it up.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to play Ana this map or if I want to go to Zenyatta the next map. Hopefully we'll see it back soon.
No, yeah, I'd like to see Sid back too. You're a gamer after my own heart, man. I'm the same way. PK, what are your thoughts on it?
I definitely do think that it allows some teams to like develop their own style of play, like
Sure.
to play around like a let's say there's like a certain comp like we tried to do it last stage on Rad like we were like really dominant on Hazard like we even beat SSG in the match on one of the or not in the match but we beat them in a Hazard mirror for on a map so like one of our strengths on Rad was like we really want to try to play Hazard everywhere we can so we try to have like a ban system that promoted us playing Hazard and made it a better matchup for enemy team comps.
That's cool. That's cool. I love how the coaches are getting more involved now that with the ban systems and stuff. It feels like behind the scenes decisions have a lot bigger impact on the matches than ever before. We kind of already touched on Freya, so I'm just gonna go and skip over that one. Any predictions going into stage 2 for OWCS? Do you have a dark horse pick here for NA for stage 2? We'll go back to you for this one, PK.
I feel like this stage, Liquid's going to be definitely looking not underrated, but they're going to be looking to take back that spot of they need to go to LAN, you know, with backline like RuPaul and Vega. Like they're the team that you're always expecting to go to LAN. So I think this stage they're going to really try to show their dominance.
Little chip on their shoulder.
Outside of Liquid, I think that either my team on Rad should be a dark horse trying to make LAN or Timeless. I think if Timeless is able to be consistent throughout the entire season, they could be really good. Like, but the problem is just consistency throughout the season.
Right on. That's awesome insight. Hanbei, what do you think? What do you think? Dark horse pick for NA stage 2?
Yeah, my dark horse would also be Rad. I feel like they had their first season and they're just getting out the way, practicing, and this next season they're definitely come for a better spot, 1 through 4, maybe make LAN. And then I also think Team Liquid is gonna bounce back and probably definitely be top 2.
All right, we're in agreement here. Okay. I definitely take note on that. Just talking about general community stuff. If there was a change that y'all would like to see, could be coming from Blizzard, content creators like myself, other players and teams, tournament organizers, the lot. What is one positive change that y'all would like to see, or something that you'd like to see more of to help our competitive scene grow? Painkiller, we'll start with you for this final
one. This is more so for like FACEIT. I know previously FACEIT used to do like weekly tourneys and then they changed it to monthly tourneys. So they had the We Are So backups that was like every weekend it was like a prize pool of like $500 and you have open qualifiers. And then they changed it to another tourney, but it was like a triple the prize pool, and then they stopped running those in February because I don't know why, but I kind of like those smaller tourneys because it allows some like we were saying before, like some up and coming teams or up and coming players to really show off their skill that you might not see in like Masters division matches.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah.
But outside of that, like I do like the player interviews because I think it also gives you like an insight on like the grind process for a lot of players, like going through Masters, going through Tier 2, and seeing like how they work. I think that's like a really good thing for the community to see.
Awesome. I'll try to do more of those. Hanbei, what do you think? What's something that you'd like to see improved or continued, or what are your thoughts?
I'd like to see more small tournaments as well, and not even just mainly produced by FACEIT, but like just tournaments like the regional tournaments or like whatever state you're from. But I feel like it's been pushed back mainly because the FACEIT League is so long, lasting like 3 months. So most tournament organizers don't even want to compete with that in OWCS. So it's a little bit harder to have those consistent tournaments.
I think it's also easy to forget how important they are. Like those smaller community tournaments really are important, even to players as talented and high level as y'all. Like it's awesome to hear that, and it's also awesome to hear y'all kind of putting the ladder down a little bit for players coming up through the ranks and things of that nature. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like, wait, can I
no,
cut you off for a
please,
second?
please, yes.
Like the reason I think those tournaments are so like important to me because me as a player, like I competed in like Tier 3 like open division for like almost a year, like a little under a year, and then I kind of stopped playing, like stopped competing for a couple months, and then I played in it was a blitz tourney. It was like a like a weekend $500 tournament or something, something small like that, and my team won it, and that's where like Hanbei scouted me from. So if it wasn't for like a small tournament, like I don't know where I could be, you know, because then it's like Hanbei might not have seen me and then picked me up to Unking, and then we made Team Z, grinded it out through Tier 2 FACEIT Masters, and then O3 Splash. We got second place, which then led to me getting on Rad.
And it
So
all came from that one Blitz
and it all
tournament.
came from one like small Blitz tournament.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Yep.
as well for me, but like coming up, there was a lot of smaller tournaments, so you were able to just showcase what you had, and the first place or like the top three would always change, like day to day. So like it was Bear Claw and like
Yeah.
another team. We just take turns taking first, taking second, and it really made it competitive, which I think is harder to do in a FACEIT League because it's so long.
I remember that Bear Claw squad. I cast that Bear Claw.
Yeah.
I cast y'all a few times back in the day. No, that's amazing. That's awesome insight. It's awesome to hear y'all reflect on that. And yeah, let's keep promoting the community tournaments. We need more of them, y'all. We need more of them. That's all I've got for you. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to come talk. Where can fans find y'all online? PK, plug whatever you want here. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks for having us, Skunk. It's been a pleasure. I've been trying to stream more on Twitch, just Painkiller_W. Definitely leading to stage 2. I'll be trying to stream a lot more, getting a lot more rank practice going on stream, so you'll probably be able to find me there.
Awesome. Hanbei, floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and also on Twitch and X, Hanbei, OHH Hanbei. So
There you go. Go follow our guests. Thank you all so much. That's all I got for you. We'll see you next time. Bye, friends.